Elkins presents the Elkins Accounting Hour with your host, Chad Elkins.
All right, we are live. Clary, how are you doing?
I'm always excited to be on the Vlad Elkins Accounting Minutes. I really, this is my favorite show.
Well, especially during tax season because you enjoy it when I'm
I
a little
enjoy
bit
your
stressed
pain.
and
Yes.
have some pain and some problems.
You're very Jesus Christ suffering for us during this tax season. We benefit from your pain. It's very, very Christian of you.
That is why I am here. Well, I don't know about that part, but you had something drop this morning. Do you want to tell people about that?
Yeah, it is. But before I do that, I have to say, because it's more important, that is a hell of a light you got there. Where'd you get that light in the back that provides the ambiance and everything? That's a swell light you got.
So I'll ask the audience, would Clary be saying that if he didn't have a direct tie to the lights that's over my shoulder there? It's a Christmas gift, right? Wasn't it a Christmas gift?
I don't know. Was it Christmas? I mean, if it was, sure, it was a Christmas gift. All right. No.
You thought it was cool, so you sent it to us. And it is really cool. The only thing is for the streams, like I can only leave it on red. It has all the colors, But whenever I choose a different one, there's like this big like aura, so it glows, so it doesn't look good. So I don't know why that is, but we love it.
Well, you'll be happy to know that it was not originally my idea because the GF got me one of those for my house.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so cool. And I thought, well, I got to get you one because all you got is like the map in the background and like a treadmill or something. So I thought that would provide a little bit nicer ambiance.
It is. It's really, really nice. You guys, I'm back down in the Southern Command, so that means it's time for frou-frou beer. This is my wonderful left-hand peanut butter milk stout. I can hear Clary, retching inside. Not that you would drink beer anyway, though.
Yeah. So are there only frou beers down south? Like there were no frou beers up in Chicago?
Well, the candidate knows that I like these types of beers, so she picked up a bunch of really exciting ones for me to try. I'm going to try them later tonight after this, and yeah, they are. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, did she go to Toys R Us to get them? Where'd she go? Did she get them online through the kids? Like, where do you kids beer? Where do you go to get kids beer nowadays?
She went to the same place you went when you were here. You and I went. We went to Total Wine, exactly.
So you went to the kids section of Total Wine. You guys,
yeah, yeah. Although to be fair, I'll be frank, I drank a lot the last week and a half because I was in Chicago just socializing with people, some of the ones that and that was more IPA-ish. So.
Remember the time you almost got the shit kicked out of you because someone thought you were me?
Yeah. Yeah, I needed Snowplow and Firefighter John to save me from getting my ass kicked.
Like, what? And then when I was trying to figure, I was like, well, why does someone hate me that much? What did I do that night? I didn't do anything. And
that might be a good super chat goal story. Like if we get a set number, we'll tell. Although I guess there isn't much of a story. It's just somebody thought that I was you. I can't remember what you did or said.
But... Okay, here's what I did. I did nothing, and people say, sure, you did nothing. No. We were there at that bar on the north side of Chicago. There were some girls that were talking to us, and then their boyfriends came in later, or they were already there. I didn't touch a girl. I didn't say anything untowards. We didn't have any arguments with these. We were just all being friendly. And then I think we got up and left. And then all of a sudden, there's like this big ass guy threatening you because he thought you were me.
Yeah, and it was so bizarre because one, your GF was with us. I remember that. And two, I was really there the whole time. You didn't insult anybody. All we were just doing was it was really bizarre.
I got kind of high school bully vibes, even though these guys were in their 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, what are you guys doing on our turf? Like, this is our bar. And it's like, well, we're having a drink. And I'm sorry your women are talking to us, but we didn't exactly drag them over here. So.
Yeah, that was what Snowplow kind of explained to me afterward. He's like, yeah, on the Northwest side, they're pretty, I guess, territorial, which is odd because we were just sitting there. So
yeah, it's still, we're there. I saw that in Wyoming. If you don't pull up with truck nuts on your truck, you're an outsider and come here, get our women. And it's like, no.
That was
I like my women to have all their teeth. Thank you very much. You can keep your women.
I got a few items from the last stream, really the last couple of streams, and you were asking me about this, I think it was last week. Remember how we were talking about non-competes with H&R Block?
Yeah,
And
did Red Hawkers or Parker get back to you about that?
this was actually somebody that you guys don't know about because he's never come on the show, and I haven't really mentioned him. But there are people besides Red Hawk and Parker that are doing this thing. And he emailed me a few days ago, I guess it was about a week ago, and this is what he said about those. And then I have a follow-up to it. He said,
Okay.
the non-compete clause from H&R is up until 2 years from the last date of your employment, you are not allowed to run your own tax practice, not allowed to advertise that you are an employee of H&R Block, and you are not allowed to advertise to the clients that you worked with at Block within 25 miles from either your office or district. Okay, so before I give you my on this, what do you think about that?
I think that's fair minus office. Wait, their office or district, not where you live.
Where the H&R Block was?
Yeah, well, office or okay, 25. I think that's fair. That's fair.
Even the part where they say you're not allowed to run your own tax practice for 2 years?
No. Within
the district.
Within the district. I think that's fair.
You did. I thought 2 years was kind of a long time for that.
It is, yeah, but okay. Wasn't it also, Parker? Someone said, "Good luck enforcing it."
That's what I was going to get to. So that was like a week ago, and then I had somebody else, actually somebody I mentioned on the last stream, who made a really helpful comment. He emailed me the FTC document, the Federal Trade Commission document, covering the non-compete clause rules that went into effect on September 4th, 2024. Do you want to know what this means?
Well, I know what it means. The FTC says you can't have non-compete
agreements. Can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do it. But if I recall correctly, the Dickhead Corporate Guild of America, whatever corporate entity, filed a lawsuit or had a judge put an injunction on that. So it's still yet to be. I mean, we can look it up. Did you look it up or no?
I didn't look it up. I mean, I'm going to post the link to the actual rule. It's only 4 pages long if anybody wants to look at it. But yeah, I probably should have looked that up. I've just been busy.
Yeah, this is 2024. Let me take a look at update because it's good to know. But I mean, generally, I don't know. That's kind of
they can't
H&R Block. Well, okay, remove enforcement. Let's just focus on ethics.
Yeah,
H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, whoever took you in. You got some experience with them.
Yeah.
They have been very good, at least in terms of the employment. There's no HR. I mean, human resources.
Yeah.
There's none of they train you. I think that good ethics in business would be like, yeah, that's your turf. That's your territory. And I'm not going to steal your business. But if you're outside 25 miles and that doesn't really prevent you from starting your own business, all you got to say is, what's your address? Look in the zone.
Right.
And say, are you within that zone? So it's not like they're saying you can't operate in the state or the United States. It's just within a 25-mile radius.
Well, let me ask you this. And by the way, we should say this. This is not legal advice. We're not recommending anything. We're just kicking
you cut
around.
out, Chad. Or maybe I cut out.
Can you hear me?
Chad.
Larry? Can you hear me? It says I'm still plugged in. I think you cut out, dude. I think Clary froze. Yeah, he's got that internet issue out there. I think he's having some problems.
I got cut out, I think.
Yeah, you're back. Okay, yeah, you froze. The internet's there, still giving you trouble.
Cox Communication. That's they improved it a little bit, but well, a little bit more than a little bit, but they still have issues. They have problems.
It sounds like there's some problems handling.
All right, so you were saying I didn't catch it.
Well, what I was saying was, everything we're talking about right now, this is not legal advice. We're not suggesting anything official. We're just kind of kicking around ideas and interpreting this. But this was my question for you about the 25-mile thing. And I kind of mentioned this last week. What if, like, I'm fully virtual? Most people who are doing this are now fully virtual. So in that respect, like, you can just, even if you are within that perimeter or whatever, you can just get a virtual mailbox or something else that suggests that you're not, within the 25-mile radius. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, is that immoral?
It's a simple step around. It's not that big of a hurdle. It's not going to compromise you in any way. I would, even without, let's say I found the FTC update. It's in the courts. So the FTC is appealing the block right now. So we'll find out. But even if they could not enforce that, there is a contract you signed. They were kind enough to give you employment.
Yeah.
It's not onerous or prohibitive of you conducting business elsewhere. So I think that's a fair shake. I would not be stepping on my former tutor's business because that's the assumption they took me under their employment to begin with.
So I don't disagree with you about not doing anything unethical, like taking clients, from H&R Block. I'm totally on board with you for that. You shouldn't do that. I guess the part that just bothers me is that if you finish up there, you put in a year or two, and then the next tax season rolls around. So it's only been like 1 year. Remember, they're saying 2 years. I feel like they should be fine with that as long as you're not taking their clients. So that's where I'm not really cool with what they're saying.
Right. But do you know why this discussion is academic and moot?
Why?
They can't even staff. They're so desperate. Right. They don't have and I'm not saying to go and cheat HR or Jackson Hewitt, but they got bigger fish to fry right now.
Right.
They're just happy to have warm bodies. I don't think they're going to send resources to sue Piddly Dunk Joe's accounting service because he took 3 clients. And then also, how are they going to prove it, especially with nowadays online, where it's like, well, I'm out of the zone and I didn't know that he lived 25 miles, within your district. But it's kind of academic and moot. But look, what's one of the main reasons companies are losing money right now in the United States?
I was going to say something about wokeness. Is that not?
That's it too. But they have no ethics. They're turning their products into shit. They make everything out of Chinesium. Your long-term, there's no business ethics. There's no, I am responsible to several entities and organizations, my employees, my customers, my suppliers.
Yeah.
And it's not because you're doing it for the right reasons or for morals. You're doing it because you want a long-term, successful and profitable business. That's why you be a good corporate citizen or a good business neighbor. Yeah. And you don't cheat people out of money or violate contracts. Or you just say, Chad, could you have swinging dick accounting where people land on your page and you got pictures of your cock all over the place and you walk in and you're swinging your dick in the office? Could you do that if you wanted to?
I suppose that you could, but
should you do that?
No.
So
it's funny you mentioned that. We're going to talk about something in that in that area tonight.
You're going to open up a subsidiary?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. But anyway, so what we were saying, this is what I was saying, because I've gotten some panicky emails about this since we did that stream last week. I really don't think you guys should be worried about that. If you're going to H&R to get some experience, it's not going to be an issue if you start your own firm within 2 years. Just don't be deliberately stealing their clients, and just be smart. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah. Well, I think it is a minor inconvenience.
Yeah.
Where as long as you don't, come on, you can't take clients within a 25-mile radius of the office. All right. Fine. Yeah. You're going online anyway. This doesn't compromise you in any way. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah. Right. So, so that thanks to Geo and then the guy I won't mention for that. But yeah, it was really helpful to get that information. I am going to keep following that FTC ruling. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that goes through. Now, you know what the good news is?
Set.
I don't have to update the course. That's the real takeaway.
You never had to. You never had to.
You might. That gets back to ethics. See? What if there was wrong information? We concluded it wasn't in the best interest now. See, I would have had to gone back and change that.
Well, no, if I truly felt like, well, you guys, this is really important. We need to make sure everybody understands this. Obviously, we would say that, but I don't feel that way. I don't think this is like.
No, I'm not worried about it.
All right, now, Clary, we got kind of a fun subject to talk about, and this is actually something that you sent me this. I think it was early last week. You sent me this. It's a TikTok video. It's about 3 minutes long, and we'll play a little bit at a time because you were saying, copyright and all that. So
yes. But before we play, do you know who this person is?
No.
Okay, well, let me explain it first. Yes, because she's made the rounds. This is a gal named Nayla Ray, and I mean, basically, she's just an OnlyFans girl. There's nothing really unique to say anything about her. And she did a pivot bullshit thing where she found Jesus.
Yeah,
she's a preacher's kid. And then the only reason I bring this up is because she exposed just how fucking simpy and dumb and naive Christian men are. So she was born again, and then every podcast fake Christian Tradcon type of guy, especially a guy called Brett Knowles or Brian Knowles.
This was all on X,
Knowles,
right?
Well, anyway, he had her on her show. Everyone had her on the show, and they're all taking her serious.
What?
And then, oh yeah. And then I think later on the whatever podcast, she's like, I had to do that so I could pivot and get more subscribers or something. I didn't really follow the drama, but to anyone with half a brain looking at this, they're like, dude, this is just advertisement for this gal. And she's not sincere.
Michael Knowles.
Michael Knowles. Thank you.
Yeah.
Michael Knowles. I knew it was Knowles. And he's got a big channel. So we're talking like the Tradcon guys.
Yeah. Like Matt Walsh.
Yeah. Prager, although I don't think those guys had her. Anyway, so she had her flash in the pan a month or two ago, and now she found Jesus. And then this video came out about a week or two ago. I'm like, you got to be fucking joking me. So go ahead, because there's a lot going on here. But let's see if our audience, 1 if you believe her, 0 if you don't. All right.
Okay, and we'll do this in bits, like you
so you don't
recommended.
Run afoul. Yeah.
You guys, please let me know. You should be able to hear this, but if not, please let me know. So, 1 sec.
Off of OnlyFans. I had significant debt. I got off of OnlyFans last year, in the beginning of last year.
Can you pause it now?
Yeah.
I owed tax.
Yes.
Okay. How does she have debt?
That was part of my analysis. It's like, how are you? I'm going to be doing some back of the napkin math, which is going to shock you about this because she mentioned. Well, you'll see, but yeah, that was like my first question. How do you already have debt considering the money you made?
She made a lot of money. Chad, your clients, you have OnlyFans or actresses of sultry fun actresses, let's call them. They make pretty serious money, right?
Yes, and after we finish analyzing her, I got a quick story about that from just this past week. So yes, they do make money.
But how many of them have debt still? I think you've turned a couple of them around.
Yeah.
But do they all have debt?
It's not that they had debt. They just didn't save any of their money. And it's not like this with all of them, but I have to say, back when I had a bunch of these type of clients, it was honestly the husbands and boyfriends that I would talk to the most regarding their significant others, kind of OnlyFans work and money that I needed them to save. So I think they were good influences, but yeah, most of them did not save anything.
I'll go on the record as this is as controversial as it is, and it's not all, but usually if the brain is behind the operation, it's the husband or the boyfriend. But even then, okay, fine, you're a good agent. You put your wife or your girlfriend up there with her boobs hanging out. They also didn't know to save their money. Like there's a lot of points of failure in what should be a pretty easy production and pretty easy money.
Well, I should clarify this. The vast majority of them did not have husbands. There was like maybe one or two. So these were boyfriends. And, when you're not, I guess, married, you don't have quite as much control over that. But no, they did not save their money. They just didn't.
All right. So right off the bat, we're 12 seconds in and she has debt. And by the way, she didn't find Jesus 12 years ago and then ran into troubles. This is, I think, maybe 6 months ago. Where's the freaking money? Okay.
That was literally my first bullet point. It's like, how do you have debt? So All right,
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, let's move on. So
taxes for the previous year, right? And so now I'm not making that money anymore. And I just want to encourage you guys
Pause it.
because this,
Do you think she's not making the money anymore? See, like
I think she probably is still making some kind of money.
I smell a trap.
Yeah.
Like, tee, I didn't pay my taxes. I didn't know. I did. And here's where I believe it's all BS. This gal is shrewd. She knows exactly what she's doing. I almost have respect for her for that because she knows street smarts what she's doing. So also like, oh, I didn't know about taxes all of a sudden. Let me ask you this. What % of the OnlyFans girls and all that actually do know to make estimated taxes?
25%. And I was going to talk about that. To be fair, I'll just say they don't teach that in schools. I always want to make that clear. So
right.
Yeah.
But and it's not just the OnlyFans. Any Democrat I had that had a modicum of success, either because they became a realtor and had some sales or did some kind of contract work, they didn't save their taxes. Chad, let me ask all the Democrats who didn't make their estimated taxes, what do they do when it's April 15th and you send them the bill as to what they owe in taxes?
Oh, they're just outraged, even though they forgot what I told them about saving for quarterly estimates, just a few months earlier. It's like, what? You never told me. And then I have to forward them the email where I distinctly described it, where they confirmed that they understood. So that's less fun than it sounds.
And I want all Democrats listening to me now. Fuck you. You voted for it. There. That's it. Yeah, no, seriously. I've had that happen where like, oh, I'm like, you're a Democrat. You voted for this. Shut up. So.
Yeah. And I'm about 90% of my clientele is still that. So, all right, moving on. Let's see what else she has to say.
this is actually happening right now to me. I had a letter from the IRS stating that I owe $288,000. And then
Clary, how much money do you guess you would have had to have made if you owe the IRS $288,000?
280,000. I'm going to divide. Okay, hang on. Let me redo that. 288,000. 1, 2, 3. Hang on. I'm doing this. I'm bad at math right now.
Put her in a reasonably
divided by. I'm going to divide it by a 35% tax rate, state, federal, and local. Wait, that's just federal.
Federal. This is just federal. She'll get to California in a second.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Dude, 288, 1, 2, 3. Is she in California?
Yes. She's about to talk about
so 288. I'm going to say it's only federal tax rates at that level are going to be 36%. So I'm going to divide by 0.36.
Well, the maximum is 35. Say 33. I don't think she was quite at 35.
33.
So
all right. I'm going to say her income's north of 800,000.
Oh yeah. Like I actually guessed 900,000.
Okay.
Remember, it's a little progressive. So minimum, this girl made 900,000. Okay.
Her average tax rate. I was taking her tax bracket.
Yeah.
So
you're
right. It's closer to 900,000. You're right.
And maybe
almost $1 million.
No, Alex Patino's right. It's probably is actually around $1 million. So we're just being conservative.
How would you know, Alex? How would you know how much money this?
Yeah, Alex. No. So okay, that's just the IRS. Listen to what she says about California.
And from the tax board of California, I owed $88,000.
$88,000.
So that's state tax and federal tax. So I was able to pay off the $288,000 to the IRS. Because I liquidated my brokerage account, my IRA, my life insurance policy, and I used all that up.
Pause that.
Why? Why did you have to do that? Like you made, let's say $1 million and you had to like basically ruin whatever savings you had. What were you spending your money on that this was the outcome?
Well, if we do a little bit of budget, so she took home 600,000, maybe.
Well, remember, she didn't pay taxes on it, so she had this set amount of.
You're right. Oh, yeah, you're right. So she blew it there. Yeah, there's at least a gap of $500,000 where she just pissed it away.
Right.
Yep.
So how does that happen? It's crazy.
What are these? You told me one time, don't these girls, once they come into some money, they go like buy all their besties like dinner and lunch, and they go get shoes and travel.
Clothes and shoes are the big thing, and travel. Wait. Of course.
Clothes and shoes are bigger than the money and
no,
the travel.
No, I'm just saying, like, I've noticed that like women who make a lot of money like this seem to really buy a lot of shoes. It's just bizarre. I don't know. By the way, owing 88,000 to the California Franchise Tax Board, if we'll conservatively say 10%, because California state taxes are high, that's still about $900,000.
Yeah.
However
Yeah.
you do the math. So
is California going to insist on that money, Chad?
Oh, yes. California is probably the biggest, the most enforcing state with that, more than any other state. The California Franchise Tax Board will come after you like the mafia never did. They will get
They come after you in other states.
Yes, they try to, but they can't do anything about it. But yeah, if you're in California, yeah. So so she liquidated all of her whatever she had, brokerage, savings, or whatever. So to her credit, I guess she had at least a little bit, but now she's got nothing.
And she still didn't have enough to cover the state. She could only rustle up the money for feds, and she's still about 90,000 short.
Yeah, listen to this. She's going to talk about that. So let's go on.
All of it. I have no more savings. So that was a really hard time in my life, but it brought me through some crazy circumstances with the Lord and trusting in God to provide my
need. Why?
Because this is the bullshit. This is the act.
This is the grift.
This is the point in time you become one of two people or one of two men. You either realize this is bullshit, and let's say it is a bullshit, it's her own damn fault. All right. So you don't care, or you're like, she hot. I give her money and donate now to her because maybe she talked to me later.
Was this happening on X? Like, were people jumping their defense or something?
No, this is on TikTok. No, I'm just saying this is, you saw it the first time this idiot came out, is how every simpy Christian ballless wonder came out to curry favor with this girl, to show how magnanimous and understanding and prodigal son they were. And it, in the end, you're like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. And now here she is. Well, I didn't pay my taxes. And now she's doing what all fake Christians do, and that is invoke the Lord and Jesus, and there's a way, and he'll give me a plan. And if there was only some way, I have faith, and da. And all the Christians, because they're dumb, are going to the dopey ones are going to rally around this guy. I guarantee she's already got the money fundraised by now for 80,000, which at this point you should be asking yourself, is there such a thing as 88? I know it sounds pretty specific, but 88,000, and I know, and it adds up with our quick analysis we did. I have every right to be suspicious that she didn't pay her taxes and is in this situation.
Right. It smells like a huge grift. So, so all right, she had to raise the money for California, and she's talking about the Lord. So let's keep going here.
My needs, like he promises in the Bible, but I want to tell you something. I still owe that 88,000 to the tax board of California.
Yes, you do.
And they just sent me their final letter of saying, like, hey, this is going
Hold on. Listen, if they're sending you a final letter, that means they've been trying to contact you for a very long time. And actually, let me keep going because she's going to use some words that aren't great.
Collections literally next month. They said that they're going to put a lien. They're going to put a lien on my credit. They're going to potentially garnish my wages.
What? Pause that.
Stuff. It's really
How do you put a lien on credit? Like the no financial institutions within California can lend her money?
Supposedly, but I mean, more importantly, if she does get some kind of like salary job, which is really hard to imagine, her position. Yeah, California can start stealing her wages.
Is it stealing?
Well, taking, I shouldn't say stealing. Taxation is theft, but yeah. So they'll just take her wages. And the thing, by the time they're sending you to collections and by the time they're putting a lien, on your property, and not to defend California, but they've been trying a very long time to get a hold of you and get your attention about this. So what was she doing? Just like ignoring those
more
letters?
Than a year?
Yes. Yes.
So she's been making a lot of money and not paying the state. Because the fact she's mentioning these specific things and it corroborates with what you know about California tax collections, I'm leaning more towards the belief that she actually didn't pay her taxes.
Oh, there's no way. And the Y2A problem, even the IRS, California, you can set up a payment plan. Like, it's not always ideal, but you can do it. So this whole like, oh, I owe 88. 88,000, you know, they'll work with you. But she just ignored all those notices for the better part of a year, apparently.
So my point is, she is that dumb. This isn't a grift to get. I mean, I know it is a grift I need 88,000. That's what she's basically saying. And now she talks over with Lord and Savior and Jesus and stuff. But it sounds to you, based on what she's saying with liens and all that, she actually didn't pay her taxes. She got a final letter.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Okay, so I'm starting to believe she didn't pay her taxes.
Oh.
She actually owes 88,000. And now California is what, going to confiscate assets? Or, I mean, is she still there? What if she's outside of California?
I mean, they can still go after you. They can sue you. I mean, they know where she is because she finally, I guess, received these letters. And so, yeah, it's pretty interesting. I don't think she's lying about owing taxes, but I think some of this whole, you know, he is a little bit misleading here. So let us continue.
But Chad, pretty girls shouldn't have to pay taxes.
I'm going to get to that. Hold on.
Looks really scary, right? Like the mountains in our life, the giants in our life that are calling us out, picking on us.
They're not picking on you.
Scary.
It's been really hard, you know, lying there, filming yourself, making $1 million.
Tell that mountain, that giant in your life, how big your God is.
Can you pause it?
Yes.
I'm not Christian. I'm not Christian. All right. But that is such an insult to Christians.
It is.
Invoking God and so blasphemous. It's horrible.
It's pretty bad.
I don't know if there's any Christians who have balls anymore in the United States. And there are a handful. But you guys allow this shit into your church. Yeah. And there's got to be some old school fire and brimstone pastor that needs to come out and just like, get the fuck out of here. Like, get the fuck out of here. But I don't see, I just see the Christians bending over backward to give her a platform and all that. So.
She'll find a guy to like marry her anyway and bail her out of this. So let's continue on. So she's talking about move that mountain.
He is bigger than those problems. He created you to be here right now.
What?
He never promised that life was easy. There will be mountains, there will be giants that happen and come into your life and feel like it sits on your chest, gives you anxiety, pain, struggle.
Can you pause it? I never want to hear about anxiety from anyone under 40 ever again. You make it sound like it's stage 4 cancer, you young people do. Like, oh my God, I got anxiety. Like, oh God, you lost a limb. And did you hear about Johnson? He's got anxiety. Oh no, shut up about anxiety.
Do you really think this girl had any type of real problems compared to like what most other people have?
I guarantee you, even without the internet, there's all these guys in her immediate circle that are going to bail her out. There's going to be some wealthy Christian guy who I saved her. Look, girls, she's pretty. I won't deny it. Girls this pretty got life on easy mode. There is no struggle. There is no anxiety. Yeah. This is the easy mode play. I just pull the simp cord and now all the simps give me money now. This is me or your average 22-year-old boy, young man. If he was $88,000 in debt, no one would come to his rescue.
Right.
He wouldn't get any, well, we'll give you the job, or, oh, I know a guy. All right, I'll lend you the money. He wouldn't get jack fuck all shit.
No.
All right. This pretty girl has the skids greased. Yeah, she's going to probably have to work. Yeah, but it ain't anywhere near as hard as like a guy her equivalent age. It's not even comparable.
Guys, keep in mind, when we get through this video, I have a story about another actress in the industry that I dealt with last week. So continuing on.
But you tell them how big your God is.
Oh, shut up.
So, life's looking really scary for me right now, right? This mountain is talking back. This giant is sitting on my chest. And I got down on my knees last night.
I'll bet
I'm sure she did.
I was going to say, I'll bet she did.
Went down to the truck stop.
That was a soft
Why would you, again, not Christian, but shouldn't you have humility? Like if
Yes.
you would not put this on the internet, she
No.
obviously put this on the internet looking for money. That's all this is.
I actually agree with King Crab here. The whole time I'm looking at this, I'm just like, I just don't think she's that good looking.
But she's okay. She's not a 10.
Yeah,
but
she's
she's
not
attractive.
ugly,
You know.
but yeah, like she can make the money that she claimed to have
Right.
made. But yeah.
I got a real quick question: is that a natural hair color?
I highly doubt that. It looks really bleached to me.
Does that cost money?
Yeah.
I wonder what else she's pissing her money away on. Like, oh my God, I'm 80,000. Like, if I'm $88,000 in debt, do you think I'm going to get like a high grade pomade for my hair?
No. And by the way, I still have a couple of hairstylists as clients, so I know what they make, you know, doing that type of thing for women, and they charge a lot for that stuff.
Yeah.
Moving on.
And I was like, Lord, surprise me.
Surprise you by finding a simp to just like pay all of this off for you.
Here's a $9 an hour job at McDonald's. Go work it for 10,000 hours. There you go.
I'm going to take a step of faith
Ugh.
and know who my God is.
The beta
like,
chump.
My taxes are not bigger than the Lord. Absolutely nowhere close to bigger than my God.
Okay. So what really, I'm not even a Christian, and it's like you, well, I mean, I am, but you know, I'm not very religious, but like
hold it. You either are or you aren't.
I was baptized, but I don't go to church. So what do you call me?
Okay. What do you believe in Jesus?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you're a Christian. I mean, it's not maybe some more nuances depending on the sect, but you're Christian then.
Right. Yeah. Homeschool time kind of said what I was going to say. It's like her God is money. Like she's sitting here going, you know, well, you know, my tax problem's not bigger than the Lord. But look at what her whole motif here is on this thing. I guess I would be offended if I was a really religious person.
You should be tremendously offended. Not look, there's always scumbags like this around. You should be tremendously offended at the ballless wonders of Christians that welcome this person in. Oh my God, come on. Because they themselves had, I would, in many instances had ulterior motives.
Yeah.
These type of, if you want Christians and Christianity to be taken seriously again, at least publicly, you need to start purging these people from your ranks. You need to get a little JC with the whip, you know, cracking down on the bankers in the temple type of thing going on. Yeah.
So, do you know who Andrew Wilson is?
Andrew, yeah, he's Rachel Wilson's husband, and he's on the whatever podcast. They may have been, it shut her down on the stream. They have been on the same show, and Andrew Wilson is a devout Christian. They're real Christians.
Okay,
and I've met them. They're good people.
Cool.
And what he can provide and what he can do, because he has plans to prosper me.
Not him.
Not to me.
Not him.
So I want to encourage you, if you are dealing with financial strain, if you're dealing with addiction, if you're
Pause
dealing
it.
with,
I'm gonna bet. She said if there's gonna become a then statement, right? So if you're dealing with financial troubles, I'm going to guess her then statement is not going to be get off your ass and get a job. No. It's going to be what all the cowardly Christians do. The Lord will provide and pray.
Yeah.
Right. Do you know what the Lord provides?
What does the Lord provide?
The Lord provides jack shit. That's what the Lord provides. Okay. I know. All right. That's what my old man said after a while. And he was a pastor. He said, the Lord will provide jack shit. I'm like, oh, really? No kidding. I thought we had a palatial estate over here. Really? Nothing's been provided? No manna from heaven? Look at that.
You could pretty much substitute, she keeps saying the Lord, God, or whatever. You could substitute that for simp or beta, and it would fit every time. I'm not saying that's who the Lord is, but that's the code.
No, she's looking to avoid responsibility. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. We got another 40 seconds or so.
With family struggles, friend struggles, relationship struggles. They are not bigger than your God, the creator of the universe. They are not bigger. Cry out to God, but have faith enough to say, you know what, God, surprise me.
Pause it.
Surprise me.
Surprise me.
Just, something will happen. Something,
I hope, I do. I hope there's a God and he just smites her. He just I don't know, boils what happened to Job, but without the salvation at the end. Oh God. Oh,
I just hate that she's gonna be fine. I truly she's
she's gonna be just fine. She's gonna be just fine.
Just fine. Last 25 seconds or so.
Surprise me. Because he cares so much about you. He loves you. He wouldn't have sent his son to shed blood.
What do you know about that?
She's a preacher's kid, actually.
Oh, so she is?
Yeah, she probably has a fair amount of biblical knowledge.
Have faith to know that he will. Nothing is bigger than our God. No mountain, no giant.
Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was that. I sincerely thank you for sending me that. It was kind of chuckles.
Interesting on many levels.
So here's any final thoughts about her before I tell you my story?
Well, I mean, she's a horrible human being. I mean, that's it. I mean, there's nothing. And I really don't like talking about her as much. The only reason I bring her up is because she talked about the tax thing. It was germane to you.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't give that girl any traffic unless it has to happen, like in this particular instance. But
yeah.
Basically, yes, you can ignore her. You never have to see that creature again if you choose to.
Yeah. So quick story time. About a week and a half ago, you actually weren't with me on this, but I had a friend of mine is an OnlyFans girl, and I did a stream with her. This was episode 12. So this was like 2.5 years ago. I
listened to it at the Minneapolis airport.
Oh, you did?
I remember listening to it. Yes.
Well, yeah, we did that, and she is the one who actually linked me up with somebody else about a week and a half ago who's in the industry. And I told you this story on the phone. She was like, her name's Monica is my friend. And she's like, hey, Chad, can you help so-and-so out? You know, she's a good friend of mine. She's a very popular prawn star. And I didn't necessarily believe that. I was like, okay, well, what's her stage name, if you will? And she told me, and I looked, and this is a legit, this person has a ton of followers, a ton.
Well, what's a ton? Because there's so many got millions. I mean,
well, 600K on X ish. That's a lot, right?
That's a lot, but that's not. That's enough to earn a living, yes. But it's not millions. You know, I know it's kind of hard to use metrics nowadays, but that's a lot. But I think there's plenty of OnlyFans girls and TikTok girls that got even more that are within that industry.
My perception is skewed. Let me tell you why I said that, because this is a bit of spoiler. I got to look at her most recent tax returns.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess how much money this woman made?
600,000 Twitter followers?
Yeah, but she's on all the prawn sites.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess 600,000. I'm gonna say in 1 year she is just shy of $3 million.
Oh no, not that high, No. Well, I'm minimizing it, but it was a little over 400K. But Clary, this is just for doing stuff,
having sex. I'll be paid. Yeah. You could pay me 400,000 to have sex with good-looking people. I'm okay.
So I ended up Zooming with her, and so I saw this. I looked at her tax return. I'm like, oh my God, how are you making that much? This is mean, but I have to say it. I told you this on the phone. I'm sorry. She just wasn't even really that attractive in making all this money. Yeah. And I was shocked. I was like, wait, you made this much money? I mean, and so she did. And this is basically a repeat of the video that you and I just watched. She didn't live in California, but she's in another state that does have an income tax. And she didn't know that she had to actually pay money based on that. And they send her letters.
Is she young enough? She might, like a 19. You don't have to give me her specific age, but is she just fresh adult, like very young adult, and wouldn't know?
This is late 20s. What do you think?
She should know.
She should know, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I tried not to, I'm not saying this to shame her or anything, but somebody failed. Somebody should have advised her along the way, because she's been doing this a little while, and they came after her for multiple years. This is the IRS and that particular state. So here's the worst part of this story, Clary. Clary, do you think she had any money saved for this?
God. So multiple years,
multiple
hundreds of $1,000s each year.
I won't tell you how much she owed.
I'm going to guess she had no money saved.
Nothing. Nothing. So throughout the course of, it was a short Zoom, 20 minutes. Throughout the course of this, I've tried to be, gentle about it. I was like, what did you do? Like, where's your money? What did you do with it? And she's just like, well, I don't know. I just, over the years, I just didn't really put much of it away. And, she was
This is
being
why you
very
date
vague.
accountants. This is why you date accountants.
We get all the ladies. Yeah. Although I don't think many accountants would date women in this line of work, but I could.
No, I
be
mean
wrong.
girl accountants. You go date girl accountants.
Oh, yeah.
You ask my girlfriend, where's the money? She will have it down to the penny and a spreadsheet backing it up.
Your GF is one of the few good-looking female accountants out there, and I'll just leave it at that.
And she didn't work an audit.
Right, which is crazy. Yeah, there's like very few in tax. But anyway, this girl didn't have any money, and so they're at that point. What can I really say? I was like, try to set up a payment plan. They're probably going to start garnishing some of your money, and she wasn't happy to hear that. But I mean, what could I say? She was just like, "Is there anything I can do about this?" I'm like, "No, nothing you can do."
If sex work is real work, and you can do it, why don't you just go do it and pay? Really, that's kind of a lot. That's their only way out of this. These are not girls with engineering degrees who just happen to get into it. Your only shot is to keep doing what you're doing, which is work, according to all you gals. You get paid and you pay off your taxes, and then you make your estimated taxes payments regularly thereafter. That's the only way out of it, because these girls aren't going to go like become accountants or doctors or anything.
The one thing I told her that we might be able to do is that I saw last few years of her tax returns. If it's worth it, maybe we could amend some, because she didn't claim all the expenses that she could have for this work, this 1099 work, but I don't know if it's worth that. So we'll have to see. But,
well, hold. Are you taking this person on as a client?
I haven't committed to that. I gave her a set of instructions, so I don't think I'm going to take. You know what? I'm glad you asked me that, because
I'm surprised you're even entertaining.
I'm not.
Oh,
no.
okay. Right.
This is like I said, one of my friends in the industry's good friends, so I'm just trying to help out. But I get emails every now and then from guys who are going out on their own, and they're like, "Chad, how did you get your niche? My niche is mostly therapists in Chicago. I want to get a niche. How do you get a niche?" For what it's worth, and they may not be great clients, but this is an underserved profession, if you can call it that. Somebody could easily like get a full book of business working with these types. It's just you'll have to put up a lot.
I was going to say you're basically a turnaround expert at that time.
Yeah,
you're going to have problem clients, and you're just going to have to zen. I mean, there's money to be made, but it's going to be I can't imagine working with exceptionally pretty girls who got by on sex work and are entitled and are so dumb they don't pay their tax. That just sounds like a nightmare to deal with. Like, you would have to charge a lot and say, I get 5% of all your future revenue for the next 5-10 years or something like that.
I can say this. She wasn't filing jointly, she's single. So I don't know if she had somebody in her life to maybe point her in the right direction, but yeah,
Wait, are you saying actresses of the adult variety may not have fathers in their lives to point them in the right direction?
I mean, I don't know how she got into this, and I didn't go there, but, so yeah, that was my story. That's why when you sent me that video, like a week and a half ago, literally like 2 days later was when I had this
no kidding
Zoom with her. Yeah, so it was serendipitous timing. But like I said, if any of you guys are starting and you maybe want some low-hanging fruit, but it might drive you up the wall, this is an underserved market, and they'll spread your name like wildfire if you help them.
Yeah, that's what I see. That is a paradox. Like, if you were a young man or young woman and you had the youth and energy on your side, and you could really train your brain to zen the F out, and handle them right, and say, like, let me ask you this. Let's say you have a problem client, whether it's a sex worker or not.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be a good idea for anyone in the future? Like, I get a retainer. You don't get this back until we're going to go through this, but I have your money. I don't have to refund you a penny. You can either work with me and do what I say and get the maximum amount back, or if you drag your feet and you fuck around and you bitch and whine, I keep all of it. Like, you almost would have to have that in order to make sure they're paying attention, because these girls, the IRS, the biggest mafia in town, could actually throw you in jail. They didn't even pay the fucking taxes on that. So you really need to get their money up front, say, this is mine until you earn it back by helping me situate your taxes. So that may be a way to do it.
I don't know how I would. Yeah, that'd probably be an effective strategy. And by the way, right when we were ending the Zoom, she goes, I have a few other gals, I've worked with who need some help. Can I send them your name? I said, you can send them my name, but I'll probably forward them to somebody else because I just did this as a favor to Monica, my friend. So, yeah.
There's
so if you guys want referrals,
there's a punny name somewhere in there. If someone wanted to do, like if they only focused on sex work, like the anal accountant. I don't know. There's a double entendre there.
The anal accountant. Oh,
look at, I just came up with it. Oh my God. Oh my God.
By the way, Clary, this gal spends a lot of time where you live, so I'm just saying.
Oh, surprise. A sex worker is over in Vegas.
How do you know it wasn't South Dakota? No,
well,
it's Vegas.
You'll see. Well, anytime there's a really good looking gal, you're kind of like, okay, yes, there are exceptionally rare cases of a authentic native good looking gal. But you're like, oh, you're from Denver and you are working, let's just say.
Yeah. I had a great one likes to talk about how few good looking women are
There's very few good looking women in South Dakota. It's true. Even less now that our governor went off to to DC.
Right. Yeah, so that's everything. Any final thoughts before we get to super chats?
No, just pay your estimated taxes.
Yeah.
If you're self-employed. Some people have it. There's a debate about when you're supposed to pay them. Just pay them by the due date.
Mm-hmm.
And if you keep voting Democrat, you get to pay the taxes.
Yeah, Parker, tits and taxes. You already have a
there you go.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad,
Tits and taxes. Brett Parker's off to the races.
All righty, I'll read this first one. It's not a super chat. We were chatting before the show began from Gem Diver. He says, Vlad, did you already finish Clary's taxes? Well, I haven't gotten his materials yet. And normally he's really on top of it with that. So
I was finishing my book. Yeah, okay. I'm doing fine. Yeah, the book was the book required stuff. So I will not be in first place this year, but I'm okay with that because I wanted to get that book out.
That is okay. I was just like, wow, this is abnormal. I hope he's okay.
It's February 7th.
You're fine, man. You're fine. It's just usually you're rushing
busy?
to get it. Yeah.
Oh,
actually, last week and a half has been very bad. But it's been a good tax season so far. Now, this is subject to change, but stuff's been pretty smooth.
Nice.
Knock on wood. Yeah.
Nice.
So we'll see.
Nathan Zurline, 10 generous dollars, enjoying the streams. Just wanted to say thanks.
He and I were chatting earlier in the chat about this. He somebody offered him a client like full of red flags, and he was going to do a Japanese refusal. And when he elaborated like how bad the red flags were, I was like, listen, man, sometimes even a Japanese refusal isn't worth it. You just have to say no. That's
a good point. You don't want to end up getting no.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Just say no.
One Man Army 617, 10 generous dollars. When you bring on new partnerships or S corps, do you require financial statements and a non-negotiable item? I have some partnerships where I get a giant Excel data dump to sort through. I'm confused.
I'm going to give the classic accountant answer, which is it depends. Okay. Because a lot of the S corp clients I have are sort of like Clary here, where they're solopreneurs, where you don't have to have an intricate set of very detailed and robust financial statements using QuickBooks necessarily, right? You're just one guy, and here.
Right. Well, you get my spreadsheet every year.
Yeah, that's fine. However, when you're talking about partnerships, universally, when it comes to partnerships, you need to get me financial statements because things get it is a little bit more complicated, but partnerships can get very messy, as you can imagine, because it's like different people with different ownership percentages.
Very contentious.
Yeah, yes. It can get contentious. So yes, if it's partnerships and you're getting an Excel data dump to sort through, I wouldn't like that. I really wouldn't like that. Maybe if it was just a simple 2-person one, not a ton of revenue, maybe I would be uncomfortable without financial statements concerning.
I would insist One Man Army on box O receipts.
Box of receipts. Where's Dre?
Receipts.
Haven't seen Dre in a while.
Dre's been gone. He's been busy with some. Yeah, he makes an occasional visit, but You could always rely on him for a short joke back in the day, but he must be
Yes.
busy with work.
He used to live 2 miles from where I'm sitting right now. So speaking of,
Oh, DJ Aftershock, $5.
Yeah.
Some states are reducing the cred requirements to become a CPA, get your license. For example, in my state, they're lowering the creds from 150 to 120. Oh, so they're actually taking action now.
They're taking action, and I think a lot of it is because like we've talked about this, nobody's going into it, and it has to do a lot of it with that 150-hour rule. Now they still need to increase the compensation for people that are getting into this field, but I do think this is going to help at least.
That reminds me, how busy are you after this podcast?
Not too busy. We're just.
Do you mind fielding an email? I got a really interesting email from a CPA who says that the market is trifurcated. There are 3 levels, and only one has a surplus, and the fringes have a shortage. And I can't make. I got my own opinions of it, but I'd like to have another set of eyes from the actual field.
If we can do it right after this, sure.
Yeah, let's do this after. I'll set up a thing and send you a link, and then DJ could give me $5.
Remember, this is Clary tax. He gets half of this. So this is when your internet clonked out earlier.
Dung is fun. $2. It's time to get Starlink, Cappy. Yes, there's a lot of things I got to do.
I thought you got that worked out there.
I did. South Dakota is much better. Vegas is much better. It's just I want a day off. Like I don't. You know what I'm going to have for dinner tonight?
What?
I'm going to go get 2 chicken sandwiches at Burger King.
You're bacheloring it up, aren't you?
I'm bacheloring it up right now. Yeah.
Where's the GF back?
GF visiting family. She has it. And they like her. No. It's weird when your family members like you. It's just weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Brandon Scott, $10. I'm looking for you guys to help analyze what my best route into accounting is for my particular situation. Is that an asshole consulting request, or what should I do? Thanks. I think that's a you question. You work in the field.
It might be an us question. Like I'll tell you what, Brandon Scott, you can email me if you want, and maybe I'll send it to Clary. Maybe we'll do a video or something. However, I'm going to say this. I'm glad we're talking about this. You guys, it's tax season. I'm busy. And some of you have been sending emails that are this long. All right. Now that's a little bit annoying, like any time of the year, but it's particularly rough now. So Brandon Scott, please use bullet points if you need to, but don't send me like a full.
How about this? Why don't I be your secretary? Why does he send it to me? And no, seriously. I mean, I know enough. Like if I can field the question, but then that way, so Brandon, send it to me at Asshole Consulting, and then
you can make it Asshole Consulting. Yeah, you can make it Asshole Consulting. And Claire, if you need me to come on your channel, that's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that.
My truth, the king. She deserves to be bailed out because the IRS is predatory against OnlyFans gals, just like student loans. She's so strong and amazing. Someone marry that queen. Hey, you know what? Maybe all the student loan debt holders could their God is bigger than their student loan debt.
Yeah.
That's sitting on their chest, the giants in the mountains.
Uh-oh. Now we have some real problems.
Better not be Dre. Oh, God, that guy. He's even worse than Dre. I thought there's nothing worse than Dre, and here's Atham. Oh, my God.
Oh, Atham. Haven't seen you in a while, dude.
King Crab, $2. Is it just me or are clients crazier this year?
Again,
you got the opposite.
Maybe I'll wake up tomorrow and shit'll hit the fan somehow, but it's been all right the last couple of weeks. Everybody's kind of following my instructions. So
it would be, you just gave me an idea. I wouldn't do it to you, but I was thinking like, I should just go create a bunch of fake email accounts and spend hours writing bullshit, long, meandering requests.
I would just refer them out, which would hurt
that wouldn't be
other people.
I want to be agitated. Block text, no paragraphs.
No paragraphs.
No paragraphs.
Guys, use paragraphs, please. I know we're numbers people, but it's okay to use paragraphs. Last one.
Okay, Lord, $2. Working hard at HR. What a shit show. Good exposure, though. Yep, it's pretty much what it would be.
Yeah, he's at Block. All right. Well,
question. Okay, we help out H&R Block all this, right? We send people and they get employees. Don't you think we should get like a shirt, or they should have a marketing campaign called The Block?
The Block.
The Block. Where are you working? I'm working at The Block,
So I was going to save this for next week, and I still am, but somebody wrote me, again, it was very long, today, like an email about a horrible experience they just had with a client at H&R Block. So that'll be for next year. So yeah, But yeah, they should kick us back a little something for that. Glary, I really appreciate it. That was fun to go through. Did you have any final thoughts about it, or do you want to hawk anything?
No, I think it speaks for itself.
Yeah,
you should be smart enough to identify a scam like that when you see it. Okay, especially in your dating life. No, she doesn't love you. She just wants your money. So there's that. And then the only thing I could hawk would be well, my consulting services at Asshole Consulting, but the new book is out called Zero World Problems, and it goes. Yep, it comes up with it's a whole new list of new standards of living and economic goals you should have in your life that is not GDP or income per capita or the materialism or any of that other kind of BS. So that's available for sale on only Kindle thus far. I looked it up. The paperback has not been approved yet.
Okay, I'll read this one from King Crab. I helped for $2. I helped 4 people get into H&R Block. Poor souls. Interestingly, somebody else, and this is next week, somebody else gave me their Jackson Hewitt experience so far, just so we can compare. And yeah, so a little teaser for you guys. Next week, I'll outline his experiences so far.
We should toss Jackson Hewitt and Liberty Tax as well.
Tax.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. I'd love to hear if anyone works at Liberty Tax. Like, what's it like? Yeah, no, it'd be very interesting to see if there's. I can't imagine there's any difference between the three.
It would be interesting to compare. So yeah, if any of y'all work at Jackson Hewitt or Liberty or anywhere else, send me an email. Again, please keep it brief. But yeah,
you think we could get the president and CEO of H&R or Jackson Hewitt? You don't think we could?
No.
Oh, come on, that'd be a pretty big fish.
That would be. I think we need a much bigger following for them, especially during tax season. Like they.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. You know who could get him though?
Brian Kim.
The hated and loathable Brian Kim.
I don't hate him, except for that one client I told you about. Yeah, we're
Karen. Yeah, I remember Karen.
And I knew what I was getting into with that one. So, Claire, I really appreciate it. I'm going to hang around because you and I are going to do.
Well, yeah, you might as well log out because I got to send you a whole other thing. Yeah, if you guys want more accounting nerd talk, this will be about the shortage or not. Okay. And I think this guy provides some information. So we'll see you guys. When will we see each other again?
Soon.